Hello, first graders. Our math goal today is I can solve addition and subtraction problems and prove if they are true or false. So what that means is we're going to continue to listen to story problems and try to write equations for them and prove that our equations are true. All right, with that in mind, I'm actually going to work today out of a workbook page. So we'll work on this together, so therefore you won't have to do this page in your workbook. All right, so most of our story problems talk about today are animal parks or zoos. So in these stories, there are people going to visit zoos, and they're going to ask you to solve a couple different problems. When you solve your problems, you can use circle drawings, your fingers, you can memorize partners to help you figure it out. But what I would like you to do before we begin is please go grab a piece of paper and a pencil. If you need time to go do that, you can press pause. Okay, now that you have your piece of paper and pencil, I would like you to put a number 1 at the top of your paper. I'm going to read you this first problem. First, I want to read it to you once, and I want you to think to yourself, is it a problem that's asking us to do the operation of addition, which means putting it together, or is it a problem that is asking us to do the operation of subtraction, which means taking it apart? And then the second time I read it, I'm going to highlight some numbers and some words that will help us figure out what we need to do. Okay, so turn your listening ears on. Here we go. Daria sees 5 lions. Then she sees, so here's her 5 lions. Then she sees 3 more lions. How many lions does she see in all? Okay, so think. They want to know how many there are all together. Ooh, there's an important word, together. Well, addition means put together, so this must be an addition problem. Okay, now that we know our operation, let's figure out our equation. Remember, equations go side to side. It says Daria sees 5 lions. I'm going to highlight that 5. Then she sees 3 more lions. How many lions does she see in all? So take a minute and try to write that equation on your piece of paper next to your number 1. Okay, now, and if you solved it, that's fine. Does your equation say 5 plus 3 equals an unknown number? If it does, go to your brain, you've got it. Now let's solve. I could count the pictures and say 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I could put dots above the 3, 1, 2, 3, and count on 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I could know in my brain that 5 and 3 make 8, or 5 and 3 are different ways to make 8. Okay, now on your piece of paper, write the number 2. This is going to be the second problem. All right, first I'm going to read it and we're going to figure out our operation, and then we're going to write the equation and finally solve it. So first, Nick sees 9 crocodiles in the water. Then 2 crocodiles climb out. How many crocodiles are left in the water? Okay, so looking at the pictures, some are taken out or taken away. When I think of takeaway, I think of subtraction. Our operation will be subtraction. So now I'm going to read it again, and we're going to think about the numbers, okay? Nick sees 9 crocodiles in the water. Then 2 crocodiles climb out. How many crocodiles are in the water now? So we have 9 crocodiles as our total. And the partner that we're taking away is 2. We want to know how many are left. Well, I'm going to use a picture to help me solve this problem. First a second. Wait a minute. Wait. I forgot. We have 9, and we're taking away 2. Did you have this equation? I didn't give you time to write it, did I? If I didn't, I'm sorry. I guess this is a freebie. Well, the equation is 9 take away 2. So we have 9, and we're taking away 2. Take a moment to solve it and see if you come up with the same answer that I do. Go ahead and pause if you need time. Okay, so we had 9. I've already crossed off 2. Let's count what's left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. There are 7 crocodiles left. Okay. Now that you finished that, I would like you to write a number 3. And this time I'll promise to give you a little more time. We're going to work on problem number 3. Okay, so on problem number 3, I want you to listen up. You have, it says, Ray sees 1 cheetah in a tree and 7 lions under a tree. How many cats does he see? Now just remember that lions and cheetahs are big cats. They're both different types of cats. So they want to know how many cats there are all together. Oops, I heard that word together. That means I'm putting together, which means I'm dealing with, what's my operation? I hope you said addition because you're right, kiss the brain, if you did. All right, so now we're going to talk about the important numbers. All right, it says Ray sees 1 cheetah in a tree and 7 lions under the tree. How many wildcats does he see? So we want to know how many. And we've decided that this is going to be addition. Now I would like you to take a moment and write the equation. He sees 1 cheetah in the tree and 7 under the tree. He wants to know how many there are all together. That is an addition problem. What will that equation look like? Pause if you need more time. Okay, did you have this equation? 1 plus 7 equals an unknown total? If you did, kiss your brain. Good job. Now, I'm going to use the counting on from the greatest number. You can choose to do it your own way. You could choose it by counting all the cats on the picture, or you could know that 1 and 7 are partners to go together that make a certain number. So take a minute and solve it if you haven't. I'm going to solve it right now. I'm going to put just 1 dot above the 1 to show 1, and I'm going to count on 7, 8. I have 8 cats all together. Okay, when you are done with that, go ahead and write number 4 on your page, and this will be our last story problem. Okay, when you have 4 ready, I'm going to read the problems. First, we're going to listen and figure out our operation, and then we're going to decide, then we will write our equation and finally solve it. Sophie sees 8 baboons and 2 mandrills. So mandrills and baboons are both from the monkey family. So how many monkeys does he see? He sees 8 baboons. Well, first let's think. 8 baboons and 2 mandrills. They want to know how many they see all together. There's that word again. We're putting together, so we're thinking the operation addition. All right, now let's talk about the numbers. Sophie sees 8 baboons and 2 mandrills. How many in all does she see? Oops, sorry. Okay, write that equation. Take a minute and write that equation. And then press play again when you have it written. Okay, let's see. So, did you have 8 plus 2 equals an unknown number? If you did, great job. Okay, now before we solve it, let's come up with a plan on how we're going to solve it. Are we going to use the strategy of counting on? Are we going to use the picture to solve it? Are we going to know that 8 and 2 go together, that are partners of a number that we already have in our brain? We could use our fingers. My favorite method is counting on from the greatest number, so I'm going to use that again. You're free to solve it however you choose. Go ahead and pause now if you haven't solved it already. Okay, so I'm counting on from the greatest number. I put 2 dots on top of the 2 to remind me that I'm counting 1, 2 dots. So I say 8, 9, 10. There are 10 monkeys all together. Okay, now that we have that done, we're going to move on to another problem. I have here 7, 4, and 3. And where they are red is where we need to either add a plus, a minus, and an equal, or an equal. A plus or a minus and an equal sign. So, take a minute, write this down just like this on your paper. Pause if you need some time. And then once you have it written down on your paper, how can you make this a true equation? You can use a plus or a minus, but you absolutely need to have an equal sign. All right. After you've written that down and solved or found a way to make it true, let's brainstorm our ideas that we have. So, I think from what I'm seeing, there are 2 ways you can solve this or prove this equation to be true. The first one is this. I see 7 take away 4 equals 3. I'm going to prove it just to make sure. I'm going to draw 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to take away 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And count these, 1, 2, 3. So 7 take away 4 is 3, or is the same as 3. That is proven to be true. And it also makes sense, because we're starting with the total, we're taking the partner 4 away. It's going to have to be less than 7, the total, and that's true. It's a reasonable answer. But guess what? I don't know if I can't remember if I already gave you a clue, but there is another way you could make this equation true. Try to see if you can write the other way on your paper as well. Press pause if you need more time. Okay. This can only work with addition. You can't go all over the place without it. We can say 3 plus 4 is the same as 7. Or if we're reading left to right, which is how we read our books in our math, we can say 7 is the same as 4 plus 3. I can prove it by counting on from the greatest number. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. I have a couple assignments for you today. So first, I do want you to take a picture of the work you did while we were listening to this lesson. That's important. I want to see a picture of that. I also would like you to write this, what's in red here, down on a piece of paper. And I would like for you to prove that 4 plus 5 is the same as 9. The equation's 4 plus 5 equals 9, and 9 minus 4 equals 5. I want you to tell me how prove that these two are related. So there's something that makes them related. How are they related? You could write in a sentence that explains your answer and draw models to support it. You could explain why you think this is true or false, that they are related. You can include facts or that's all I can think about. So are 4 plus 5 equals 9 related, or are they not? Be sure to prove your answer. Okay, and lastly, your quick quiz. We have a quick quiz today, page 97, because we have a test Monday. So make sure you're really good at that quick quiz. Take a picture of it. Use the microphone to tell me, to share your thinking, and as well take a picture of this, if that makes sense. Wow. Sorry if it's too much. All right, good luck.